pretty good to relax. And now after that, I have to motivate myself again, crank myself up.
Yeah.
Let's get it going, and start 2017 off with a bang.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. I'm here to help you do that. And today will just be perfect in order to really start getting us focused now on how to start 2017 off with a bang. So I assume you can all see the screen here. And so with that, let me, Robert has, okay, great. Um, that,
Hey Doc. Hey
hey,
Doc, I've been on the whole time. Sorry.
oh, you have, okay, great.
I just wasn't on the computer screen. I was helping a lady with her dental portion of her plan. So
Oh, good,
but
good.
I've been on the whole time.
Okay, that's great. That's so you were engaged in a high payoff activity, and that's being with a client and helping out the client. So that's great. So Robert, you want to just share with you on what has happened well for you in the last 3 weeks, personally or professionally?
Well, actually, for our company, for I think pretty much all of us on the call, we got the ability to share stock within our company based on our performance throughout the time we've been here for 2016. So I was super excited about that. I look forward to the payoff 4 or 5 years from down the road, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, that's just awesome, and I love that. And a 5-year plan is like a really a good realistic plan that I think we need to look at a plan on we need to do, what do I need to do daily, and what do I want to do in 2017. And my goal for each one of you is for each one of you to allow, if you will, over $200,000 of income. But there's this 5-year goal, and part of that longer term goal is exactly it. It's that the ability to be able to have stock in the company, and it's something you can't touch, because I can tell you that people, as the more money they make, typically the bigger house they get and the nicer car they get, and so they end up really being in bigger debt than they otherwise would, because they have that monthly income. But to have stock, yeah, for all of us to be able to realize that, wow, stock actually will help my long-term wealth, where I can't touch it, if you will, and it'll really be able to. And a lot of you talked about legacy and how you want to really leave a legacy for your loved ones, and for you and what you achieve. And so stock is a fast track in order to get that in a long-term range. So yeah, that's absolutely great, and thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. And so let's get into today, and we're going to really talk about remember, I'm a mental scientist, and so we're going to talk about the power of our thoughts, and that this is going to take you to a whole new level that I think in fact, I'd like each of you to write down right now: thoughts become things. And so just write that down. And the fact is that thoughts do become things. And so as we go here, let's see, I got to get my computer going. There we go. And so our agenda today, we're going to look at the 4 areas in which we think in. And 3 of those areas actually prevent us from achieving what we want to achieve. We're going to also look at a professional and personal desire sheets, and it's a new way of looking at your goals, and that is, most of us think we have to figure out the how, but really our main thing that we're supposed to do is identify what we want and why we want it. And so I had emailed you all some personal desire sheets. If you don't have those, we're going to actually be completing those, filling those out. And if you don't have it, it's no big deal, but do have a piece of paper, because I'll take you through on how we want to the process in order to write down your professional and personal desire sheets. This will get you to what you want faster and easier and more enjoyably. And, we talked here a little about, yeah, it was just good to, I think Walter brought up, it was good to relax. And relaxation is really good for you to just relax, breathing deeply, like your breath. You don't understand the power of your breath. And I want you to really be aware of breathing deeply in and out. It connects you with the universe, with God, however you want to, like in the Bible, in the Bible, every time they use spirit, that actually is, that's the equivalent, and I'm an ordained minister also, that's the equivalent of breath. And so the Bible had understood the power of our breath, and it's our connection with God, if you will. And so just by breathing deeply and taking it easy, and kind of the opposite of what you have been brought up to believe, that, gee, I got to work hard and I got to do stuff and it's going to be stressful. And it's really just the opposite of that. As you take it easy, as you flow with life, that you're going to start seeing that things are going to come to you in bigger ways and easier. And then we're going to look at the magic bullet, and that's something we've already talked about, is referral partners, but the power of that. And so this week, our success assignments will be, I want you to be thinking about who is the next referral partner. We're going to also talk about the mother of all creation. And basically, this is a process, a technique for you to use first thing in the morning to start creating your day the way that you want it, and to better create your life, your overall life, the way that you want it. And again, these techniques have been used by thousands of people and help them to make millions of dollars, help them to be happier, help them. I've had people overcome cancer. Like, each one of you are these magnificent creators because you have this power of your thought. And so today we're going to really get into that and understand on where your thinking can go and the best place for it to go in order to be that creator of what you want. And then we'll review our success assignments. So with that, in the past 5 years, science has proven on how creation works. And so this is neuroscientists, quantum physicists, and molecular biologists all have agreed on this, that the first step to all of creation, so everything that you see, if you just look out and look at it, that came from a thought, okay? And if you look out the window, and if you can see nature, and you have a window there, or a door, whatever, that if you look out, that's God's thought. That everything that you see that is man-made, if you will, that's man's thought. So everything comes from thought. So it's critical to have us be aware of what we're thinking, because we have a tendency to pick up what other people are thinking, and normally that's negative. Like, for example, if you go watch the news, most everything is negative on the news. And so then that'll have a tendency for you to say, oh yeah, the world is bad. But the fact is that the world has everything you want in it and everything you don't want. This perfect contrast. And by recognizing that you just want to start thinking about what you want. It doesn't do you any good talking about whatever it would be, as easy as, oh, my football team lost and so I'm going to feel bad. It's like, who cares? Don't feel bad, because it'll prevent you from other things that you want, because it's all about the feeling. So this thought, the power of your thought, is this first step. Then scientists state that this thought creates energy, which we call our emotion. And so now the scientists, of course, they left God out, but really what happens is that this thought, we have these thoughts, and it sends a signal, if you will, because everything is energy, and it sends the signal out to the universe, out to God, and then God receives it and answers. That's why your prayer, because step number one is, in essence, your prayer, and you're in ceaseless prayer all the time, because you're thinking all the time, other than when you're sleeping. And when you're sleeping, that releases your resistance, and then you're right back up to it when you wake up, that there your thought is, And so your thought creates this energy in your emotion. Now, the beauty is that all of your prayers are being answered. So God receives those, the universe, whatever word you want to use that you're comfortable with, that God receives it and then responds back to you and starts creating the energy around whatever you're thinking. So you really need to make sure that you're thinking the thoughts about what you want. This energy, then, this is according to the science, this energy then creates matter. And that's why thoughts become things. And do you guys believe that? Do I hear a yes or a no?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, good. What part are you a little uncomfortable with?
The whole scientific stuff. But I mean, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like how you interjected God back into there.
Right, yeah. And so, and the reason why I do that is because, science, it leaves out the most important equation of it all, and that's God. And again, we have been brought up, and we're going to get into beliefs in the next couple of weeks and where our beliefs come from. But, like, for example, if we were born in India, we wouldn't be Christian. And so it's really like, some powerful things on where our beliefs come from. And so there isn't any right or wrong. You believe what you believe and how you're brought up, and that's great. But to use those beliefs to your advantage. So, so the power, the main thing I don't want you to get too, mixed up with, the main thing I want you to get from this page is your thought, in essence, it creates your experiences. And so Albert Einstein said, thoughts create matter, and this is not psychology, this is physics. And so he understood that, and what he did is he created actually, that famous equation on energy, he created that in his mind. And so he just was thinking and creating all of this in his mind, which, you could relate to a lot of different things that he created, but nuclear, basically the nuclear and the power of that has brought so much good to the world. And you may say, well, what about the nuclear bomb? Well, it actually stopped the war, and so it stopped killing, but also nuclear for energy and a whole bunch of things that we have. So know that whatever you focus your attention on grows. So I would encourage each of you to really start focusing in and being sensitive to how you're thinking, because your attention, what you focus your attention on, grows. And what are you thinking about? And again, if you're thinking about the deal that just went south, you're going to get more deals that go south. So what you want to do is not pay attention other than to say, okay, I didn't get that deal, and so what do I want? What does that birth? Well, I want people to say yes to me. I want people to be able to. In fact, Bill had a great example that he sent me where this lady had basically responded to him and says, based on your material, this is not health insurance. It's supplemental. It doesn't even meet ACA. Not acceptable for me. Went from that. And then Bill and I talked, and and how to look at that, and what does he want out of that? He wants them to be able to understand and to say yes. And this was like, I think her husband was a doctor, and she was an attorney, and so these two bright people ended up telling him yes. And so that's like one of the things that happened really good with him in the last 3 weeks, is turning that around. But again, you don't want to focus your attention on what doesn't work. So if you don't like something, just say, that's what I don't like. What do I want? And just start thinking about the opposite of what you do want. And I would write that one down too, though. Whatever you focus, whatever I focus my attention on grows. And so you can use this in relationships. If you have an argument with your spouse and you keep on thinking about that, then you're going to keep on dividing that relationship. And so you just want to recognize, that's what I don't want. What do I want? And then God will start giving you thoughts and ideas to help you to create the things that you want, like in my example there, a good relationship. And so now we're going to look at the 4 different areas of thought. And I would encourage you all to get out a piece of paper. And I'd like you to, oh, by the way, at about 9 o'clock, we'll take a couple-minute break. And so if you can just hang with me here until 9 and be engaged, don't multitask, and really be on this, because I'm going to share with you some information that most people aren't aware of, and that by having the power of this knowledge, that it's going to make your life more successful and easier. So I take out a sheet of paper, and basically you can just draw 4 boxes like that. And we're going to be talking, putting some words on the left side of those boxes and above those boxes. And so these are, and at the top of the page you can say, the 4 areas of thought. So this is my 4 areas of thought and where we think in. So the first area is we think about what we do want. And then just so you know, the other area will be about what I think about what I don't want. And you'll be surprised at how many people, and remember, whatever you think about, whatever you focus on, grows, that many people think more about what they don't want than what they do want. But we're going to look first at what we do want. And this is when I'm not being deliberate. And again, I'm going to introduce to you today in the morning to do what's called the joy shop. And what that does is to get you out of this red zone and into the green zone that we're going to talk about. But it's being where I'm non-deliberate, but I am thinking about what I want, but I'm doing it really at the wrong time. And so this is, it's basically, I'm being reactive to what is. So for example, you might be in the middle of a conversation, a presentation, and all of a sudden the person says, hey, I don't want this. And then you're going to start thinking about what you want. You're going to start thinking, oh, but I want them to say yes. Well, it's too late. We already have momentum. We kind of talked about how momentum is slowing down over the holidays. And now it's up to us to start moving that momentum and getting that wheel going again, if you will, that beautiful wheel of prosperity and abundance and of wealth. And basically, this is where we get life by default. Like we just kind of wake up, get out of bed, and we just start pushing through the day. And so we kind of get what we get. And many people live in that zone where they don't pre-pave anything about their lives, that they just basically go out and get it. You guys are already ahead of that, professionally at least, that I'm aware of, because you're setting these goals, you have these objectives, and like for example, one is 200 calls per day that you can do in a couple of hours, and then these are high payoff activities, and then to be able to, out of those calls, get several appointments for the presentation, and then get closes, and then we want to get closes every day, and then every week, and then that translates out to over $200,000 of income this year in 2017. And so when we're in this red zone, your basic results is it decreases your success and increases your stress. The next zone is thinking about what I don't want and doing that non-deliberately. And so this is typically a red zone, and it's a lot of busy work. And so you may, let's say after the call at 10 o'clock that you have a real tough prospect to call, or you could call back an old client on maybe some question that they had. And so you call back that old client when really the biggest high payoff activity for you would be to first do that and call the tough prospect that I'm dealing with. So we have a tendency in this zone to do busy work. It's almost like so what, that we're not really focusing on what most important is to do, and it decreases our success and it increases our stress. And then the third zone here is when I am deliberate, and we're going to go to the bottom right there though, that this is where I'm thinking about what I don't want, and I'm doing it deliberately. And so this is another red zone. And what I call this is committee members. And so imagine in your mind that you have, even put your hands on your head, kind of like in here, in this mind of mine, that I have these committee members, and it's as though it's you have this beautiful wood mahogany table, conference room table, and then these beautiful executive chairs all around that table. And there's these characters that are sitting in there. So this is in your mind that you have these characters, and these committee members typically are thinking about what was, so what happened previously, and we're also sitting there thinking about stuff we don't want. So I use that one example of the relationship, and if I just got into an argument, which I was able to pick that up because one of you had some type of dispute in a relationship recently, and that's why I picked that up and used that as an example. And so then we keep on thinking about that and how mad we are or how bad we feel about, gee, I said this and I didn't mean to say that, but still, she did this and she shouldn't be doing that or whatever. And so what we do is we keep on thinking about what we want. And so some of these committee members that are sitting in these executive chairs, it's fear. And the things that we fear, whether, we fear, there's all kinds of different fears that we have. And so, what are we fearing? Well, fear is false evidence appearing real. And so I fear calling that tough prospect back. I don't want to call them because I don't want to get into it. Or I fear apologizing to my spouse or whoever on the argument that I got into. And so we stand in a lot of places of fear. Also, committee members are worried and doubt and complaining and blaming. And so there's all of these committee members that many people are immersed in. And so the net result is it decreases your success and it increases your stress. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to take a look at those three zones and be honest with yourself on, sometimes top left, for example. Yeah, sometimes, I haven't pre-paved it. Like before I make a call, do I say to myself, I want this call to be smooth and easy and fun and we get along well together? That if we don't, well, then we're just thrown into this reactive mode. If first thing in the morning, if I don't plan out how I want my day to be, I'm going to just get it by default. And again, that's why we're going to be doing the Joy Shop, to give you some tools to be able to get out of that red zone and flow into the green zone. And then look at yourself on busy work. Do you sometimes catch yourself doing some busy work? And then your committee members. Do you sometimes think like, oh, this is really, like if you're thinking right now, oh, this, it's going to be so hard getting the momentum going. If you say that because you believe that, okay, you believe that, but the fact is it doesn't have to be that way. But if you say that, you're going to just expand it and it's going to be harder than it has to be. In fact, everything can be easy when you start using your mental power on the things that you want and thinking about what you want. So where we're going is we're going to be thinking about what I do want, and then we're going to be thinking about it deliberately. And this is called the green zone. And again, I would encourage you to write this down. I'd encourage you to share it with your spouse, with your kids, with whoever. That it's very powerful. And in fact, we can kid each other. And when we're talking with each other, we can say, "Hey, it kind of sounds like you're in the red zone right now." And that way, all of us understand, that same language. Oh yeah, I want to start living in this green zone. And what's in this green zone? This is where I'm thinking deliberately about what I want. I'm a deliberate creator. We're all creators, okay? We're born in the image and likeness of God. We're all creators. It's just that most people are not deliberate creators, and all of us can do a better job in being more deliberate. And this is where I'm thinking good feeling thoughts. So basically, your communication system, and we'll get into this in the next couple of weeks, but your communication system with God is your feelings. When you're feeling good, that means you're thinking like God. And when you're feeling bad, it's your communication system on, hey, I got to stop thinking about this because this is not how God is thinking about this subject. And if you can't think anything good about the subject, just get off that subject and go to another subject that gives you good feeling thoughts. You are the inviter of what you want. Imagine yourself in front of a symphony of a whole orchestra, okay? And this whole orchestra, and you can call it the universe, you can call it angels, whatever. But you're the conductor. You're the one that has to do the asking. God then does the how in order for you to receive. And so it's this power of you doing the asking, and this is when you are the inviter of what you want. You invite it. It's like you have this magic wand in your hand, and you raise that wand, and all that is listening and responding and can't wait for your next thing, your next thought, because your thought is your asking, because whatever you're thinking about, cooperative components are going to rally around, and that energy, that what is unseen, becomes seen in your experience. And so this is also thinking about what will be, thinking that today is going to be a great day. Did you, each one of you, did you say before this training this morning, wow, it's going to be just magnificent, fantastic training, that it's going to awaken me, it's going to teach me some new things that are going to just take this momentum of my business to a new level, take my life to a new level, have me be the servant leadership that I want. That did you do that? Well, if not, no big problem. Issue that from now on, that's what you want to do. So you want to start thinking, pre-paving not only your day on what will be, but thinking about what's going to be this week. It's going to be a great week. It's where I get the momentum going so fast that it'll even be better than what I experienced in December. It's about me having stock now in the company and building my wealth. It's about me creating over $200,000 in 2017. It's about me, and the more that you think about what will be, the more of that will come. Now, some of you may want to, may have some questions. Like, for example, you may say, hey, I've been asking to win the lottery, and I haven't won the lottery, so this thinking thing doesn't work. Well, here's what's going on, is we think about 60,000 thoughts a day. And so what typically happens is we ask to win the lottery or whatever, okay? And then we start thinking the opposite of it. We say, oh, I don't have enough money for that car. Oh, I don't have enough money to do that trip or whatever. And so we start contradicting ourselves on what we want. And so it's like living in this place in your mind where you're just only focused on these good feeling thoughts and these thoughts on who you're going to be and what you want to do and what you want to have. And as you do, you're going to start thriving. As you live in this green zone, you're going to start thriving. And as you thrive, the whole world thrives. So some people may say, wow, this is pretty selfish. It's just about me thinking about me. Well, I'm telling you, you can't think for another person. You can't feel for another person. The only person you can think and feel for is yourself. And as you think and feel about the things that you want, it's going to help uplift the whole world. And you're going to have more money to give to charities or your church or whatever it'll be, that you'll be more happier, and so you'll be the light of the world. And when you meet people that they'll rise up and they'll be happy. And so it's this beautiful area of living in the green zone, that the net result will be is it'll increase your success and it'll decrease your stress. Now, hearing that, tell me about who wants to live in the green zone?
I think everybody does. I mean, so basically the green zone also too seems to be like an area to where that you're more in control.
Right, exactly. You're in control because, yeah, those other red zones, you're out of control. In fact, you're giving away your power. You're giving away, like the committee members, you're giving your power away to like things on worrying and doubt and whatever. You know, if you think about it, look at how our lives are, that we've, you know, for the most part, all of us have had a roof over our head. All of us have had food. All of us have had, you know, relationships, wonderful opportunities and experiences, and that we can have more of that, but we've given away our power. And this is really for us to reclaim and say, yeah, I'm going to live in this green zone, Dan, and I'm going to, you know, be the creator that I am. I'm going to have the life that I want. I'm sharing with you that before you came here, you had some intentions, and you wanted more freedom, you wanted more joy, you wanted to expand all that is and do God's will. And what God's will is not God telling you what you want, is you experiencing here and then identifying what do you want, and then God will give it. That's why we're the askers, and then we shall receive, because God will figure out the how for us, and that it's all good. And how do you know it's good for everybody? It's when you feel good. And so when you're feeling good and you have thoughts, and your thoughts create your emotions on whether you feel good or not, and as you feel good, that you in fact it's good for the whole world. It's good for God, the universe, you know, whatever, again, the words that you want on that. So very powerful. So is everybody in? Everybody want to live in the green zone?
You bet.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, fantastic. And so here we go. That one of the first ways to do that is to live in the green zone is to complete desire sheets. So people, you might, you know, in most things, people call these goals or whatever. That desires, it's just a softer word. It's more intimate, if you will, that, oh, well, here are my goals. That it's, hey, what do I desire? So I'd like you, and I know we've done this, but you'll see as you start writing these out and started getting clearer and clearer, you're going to be clear on what you want. I can guarantee you that every person out of the thousands of people that I've helped become their greatest possibility, that when I first meet them, they're not as clear on their goals as they can be. And so right now, what I'd like you to do is get out one of your desire sheets. And again, if you don't have one, basically the top of it, and again, you have it in soft copy, but it basically is my desire, what I want, and then you start saying, I want this. So one of the ways to live in the green zone is to identify your professional goal and what you want to be, do, and have professionally. So right now, I'd like each of you to either on your desire sheet or on another sheet, and it doesn't matter if you had it before, if it's the same one, it doesn't matter. And the reason why, remember, whatever I focus my attention on grows. So this is going to help you to grow whatever that goal is. And so I want, and so this could be, as far as your professional goal, it could be as general as, you know, I want to earn or allow, you know, over $200,000, or I want to, you know, help 4 people a week, or close, you know, 2 deals a week, and that number, it's whatever number is comfortable with you. I don't want you to put in a number if that's what you're doing, in, you know, dollars, number of closings or whatever, but professionally, that it's what makes you really drive yourself, and what makes you get excited about your life and professionally what you're doing. So, you know, I want to make over $200,000. I want to, you know, close 5 deals a week. that I want to help. Maybe you want to make it softer, and I want to help 200 people this year with their health needs. And so anyways, write down whatever comes to mind. And what does come to mind? Can you, does anybody, would anybody be kind enough to share what your desire is? What do you want? What's your desire?
I can go with what I think just off the top of my head, Hank.
Sure.
Really what I what I strive is to what I'd like to have is to I'd like to earn the respect of my peers and my superiors.
Okay.
By continually continually being able to help other people by selling these policies and helping other people every day, is what our motto is. But truly, I think if by that by doing that, I think that will earn the respect of my peers and my superiors, and living a and on the yeah. So professionally, yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Now, yeah, how much money I make will take care of itself.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. And so and it's just great input, Walter, and I really appreciate that. Sometimes when we get too specific, we actually run into resistance. So sometimes if we say, well, I want to earn $200,000, and we run into resistance. We've been brought up saying that like money is the root of all evil, which that isn't it at all, but we've been brought up that way, or that money is bad, or look at the filthy rich, or whatever. So for some of us, we've bought into those beliefs, and that because all really money is freedom. It gives me more choices, more variety. I can help more charities. I can help my charity. I do all kinds of wonderful things with money. So money is the root of all evil, but we have been brought up with that because of some of these beliefs. And so if that's the case, where when you write that down, it doesn't make your heart sing, you don't want to write that down. But what you're saying here, Walter, is, hey, it makes my heart sing to know that I've earned the respect of my peers and my superiors, if you will, other company management, and that I'm able to help other people with these policies. And so I love that. And so with that I think that is a great a great place to start on that. And then I'll continue to work with you, Walter, on because then write down, and so for all of you to write down though, why I want it. So in our thought in living in the green zone, that the two most important things you can think about is what you want and why you want it. Because what happens is that starts creating that energy, and you need to think about, like if I say, I want to win the lottery, millions of dollars in the lottery, that's not going to do it. You need at least a minute to be thinking about whatever that is that you want. And so again, using Walter as an example, that, I love helping other people with these policies, and then why you want it. And so why do you want it? So Walter, when I ask you why you would want that, what comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is that it makes me very happy.
Yeah, right. It makes me happy. I mean, that's like a big one. That's the big one that really we have these goals in order for us to feel good. And why do we want to feel good? Because that aligns us with God. When we're feeling good, we're in one with God. And so yeah, I want to be happy. And so that's like a marvelous one. What's another one? What else comes out of that? Why do you want to do that? Makes you feel happy? What other things does it other people it impacts or whatever? What do you?
Yeah, it impacts it impacts the policyholder obviously, particularly if they're able to use the policy and they're happy with it.
Yeah.
Then it reconfirms my my
Belief level?
my ego, yeah, if you will. It just reaffirms that I'm doing the right thing and I'm on the right track,
Yeah.
and that these are things that I am on. I have made the right decisions, because
Yeah.
the thing that you always doubt is, well, I took this job and did I really make the right decision? And these things just all reconfirm that you have made the right decision, and it and in turn makes you happy, or in turn I think gains the respect of my peers.
Yeah. Tell me a little about what would because we all want that. We all want to be liked, and none of us like to be unliked, right? We all like.
Well, it's not necessarily being liked, Hank. In my case, it's I can like you and not respect you, but I can't respect you and not like you.
Right. And so what happens, what falls out of that once your peers, as your peers respect you, and upper management, whatever, that what else happens? Why is that good? I mean, I understand it makes you feel good, but what else?
Gosh, it helps your leadership.
Yeah.
Provides a leadership.
Sure. It helps leadership. So what about your confidence?
Oh, yeah, it helps your confidence tremendously, because what you're doing is, and like I said, you want to, sometimes you want to question, well, did I make the right decision by accepting this position and doing this commission work and whatever? Well, it reaffirms that confidence that, yeah, you have made the right decision.
Yeah. Well, I love that. So, and again, so on this one, that this is our business, and I appreciate your great input on all of that, Walter. But see, it starts flushing out, and so the more, so it kind of will go like this: that you'll read your desire sheet, and you can read this every day in order to keep that focus, and then you can add to it on why you want it. Now, once you get, so we'll go something like that that I just love to be able to help other people with their policies and earn the respect of my peers, my supervisors. And why do I want that? Well, it makes me happy. It helps the policyholder. It makes me know that I made the right decision. It makes me a better leader. It helps me with more confidence. And can you feel that energy, that energy is going? And what happens is, when you have that energy, then all of a sudden, you're going to be given, literally from God, the universe, again, whatever terms that you're most comfortable with, the ideas in order to make that happen will bring you the thoughts, will also attract to you the people, the circumstances, and the events, what I call cooperative components, will start doing. Things start coming to you out of the blue. And when you think about it, like maybe we could all think about, like, let's say our spouse, that how did you meet them? I mean, you could have never figured that out, okay? Or how you got a big deal, that and closed a big deal, or whatever the case may be. That think about some of the really amazing things. If you have had children, I mean, that's a miracle. Now, how the heck did that happen? I mean, you kind of know how it happened, but not really, right? How on earth does that happen? That's just, a miracle. And so when you think about those things, that you realize that there must have been something greater than I at play here to bring about this. And so again, I put it in kind of some other terms than maybe you're used to it, but I call it these cooperative components will come to you, and all of a sudden you'll have these amazing opportunities for business, you'll have these great things personally or whatever. And so I wrote down, a couple things here on maybe it's that, hey, these are actually high payoff activities that you may want to write down, but some of the high payoff activities could be making 200 calls per day, making 2 appointments today, allowing $200,000 or more, being a marketing guru. So, that 200 calls just takes 2 hours per day typically. And so what am I doing with the rest of that time? And so, where do I need to market? Is it, me going out to networking events? Is it me contacting my referral partners or whatever the case may be? And then, so I assume everybody gets that. Then on your second sheet, I'd like you to write down what your personal desire is. So now this is personal. So this could be a personal goal that you wish in areas of maybe your family. Maybe you have something about your family. Maybe your health on how, I want to be healthier. And just as easy as that, I want to be healthier. I don't want you to do something like, well, I want to lose 20 pounds. The problem with losing 20 pounds is it focuses on your weight. And then typically what happens with people is they lose the 20 pounds. And then once they hit that goal, they start going back up and they actually gain more than the 20 pounds that they lost. And so you want to keep that general, kind of like Walter and I were talking about, keeping your goals general enough to where you don't have any resistance. And so you don't want to focus on something that you don't want. Like I help people to stop smoking by not saying I'm not going to smoke. It's that they start asking, God, I want to be healthier. Why do I want to be healthier? I want to see my grandchildren grow up, that I want to have this. And what this will do will bring, again, cooperative components, thought, people, circumstances, events that will help that person to, in my example, stop smoking or whatever it may be. So I want you to write down what your personal desire is. And so write down a personal goal and then why you want that. Again, not the how. The how is God's business, not your business. So I want you to stay into thinking about what you want and why you want it, and then having the belief and the faith and the trust and the hope that God will answer. And I can tell you God's going to answer. The universe is going to answer and respond back to you and will give you the things as you build this energy of what you want and why you want it. And so it could be healthier. Maybe it's improve relationships. I want to have a deep, meaningful relationship with my spouse or with my children. But I want you to get into it. I want you to have it something that really you want, because you have to get this energy going. Because if you just say, hey, I want to be healthier, you're never going to be healthier. Okay, that for you to really get into what you want, maybe one of the things you want to ask for is, what I want to do personally is I just want to think positive thoughts. I want to be surrounded by, I don't want that committee members. I don't want that big, huge table in my head with all these executive chairs, with all these funky people of fear and worry and doubt and complaining and blaming around. Instead, I want to sit at this beautiful table and with God and angels and everything and think these positive thoughts in my mind. Because the more positive thoughts that I have, the more positive life will be, and the more that I'll uplift myself and I'll uplift others. So with that, why don't we take any questions or comments? And why don't we take...
I would like, Dr. Henk, I'd like to go back just to the professional stuff one last time and say that of all of the people that are on the phone, that I strive to be a portion of each one of them. I think each one of those people, each one of the people on the phone is somebody that I respect, number one, yeah. And that I would that I try to mimic in different ways. Yeah. So they say that imitation is the ultimate form of flattery. Well, for Dan and Andy, PJ and Robert. I just want you guys to know that I do try to take what I can and learn from y'all, because I certainly do respect you. So
yeah,
that being said, we can.
And that's beautiful. And maybe again, I'll go to a biblical. As iron sharpens iron, so one
Absolutely.
sharpens another. And you that, and that we can all uplift and see you. And you really hit on something else here now, is that, see, when you're feeling, when you're thriving, that it helps other people to thrive. So as our team and each one of us, and as Andy and Dan and PJ and Robert, that as they're all there, Walter, that they're becoming their great responsibility and really doing good. And so you can look up to that and be inspired by that. And all of us, the more that we can be inspired by others. But if I'm not inspired, if I'm not thinking good thoughts, if I'm not in a place where I'm proud of myself and confident, that I'm not going to inspire other people. In fact, I'm going to probably be depressed, and that rubs off too. Whatever it is, it does. And so, all of us to recognize, wow, this is a way for me to, not only for me to grow, but for me to help other people and be this iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. So I'm into that. That's great. And then with that let's take 2 minutes and just take a 2-minute break, kind of get your mind off it and get fresh, and then we're going to go through a couple of other things here and before we let you go, okay? So let's do 2 minutes here. Yeah. 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 That's good. That's good. All right. All right, I'm back, and so let's see. Let's just do one. Anybody want to share a personal goal that they have?
Well, I'll go again if nobody else wants to.
This second hour, and Walter, I'll let you go this time, and then I'll call on other people. But go ahead, Walter. I'd love to hear your input.
Well, my personal desire is to find a decent work-life balance.
Great.
As obviously as I get older, I want to work less and have more of a life.
Yeah, play more. Yeah, work less, play more.
Yeah, and that's because, and the reason I want to do it is because I want to see my grandkids who are age 10 and 7.
Yeah.
I want to see them get married.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love that. Yeah, and what ages are they? 8 and 10?
Yeah, they're 10 and 7.
Oh, 10 and 7, 10 and 7. Yeah, that's great. And so, yeah, there's nothing like a love for grandchildren. It's a different love than your children and this grandchildren. It's just so special. And yeah, to see that and that, you want to be healthy for that. And so you want to have that balance. And actually part of this process that we'll be going through in 2 weeks. So we just have 2 more sessions after this one, the 16th and the 23rd. And on the 23rd, I'm going to actually help you with how to have that balance and be able to prioritize your life in the way that you want to. And so that's a great thing. And so, so I love that the work balance. And then the why would be, well, I want to see my grandchildren get married. And so that's awesome. Another why would be, it'll be able to give you long-term health, right? If you would have that balance, that you'd be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So longevity. I mean, probably we're all interested in longevity. In fact, to share a little about that as far as stress is concerned, remember we talked about the 3 zones, the 3 red zones, and how those increase stress. Well, the insurance industry wanted to continue to have people pay premiums, so they wanted them to live longer. And so they wanted to find out why people were dying. And so they did, and they literally spent millions of dollars on this research. So they wanted to find out what was the main cause of death, and they found out that the main cause was heart disease in the United States, was heart disease. And then they went and they said, okay, well, what's causing this heart disease? And they found that it was stress. So living in these red zones actually will decrease your longevity, whereas living in the green zone, being deliberate, thinking about the things that you want, and really just disregarding a way to look at this also is the stuff you don't want. Christ said, turn the other cheek. And when I was a kid, I was with a fairly abusive father, and so I thought if you get slapped on one cheek, you just turn the other cheek and let him slap you on that one too. But what I found out was what that meant is that you look at what you don't want and you look at it. So, imagine you're looking right, and then you turn the other cheek, meaning you want to start looking at what you do want. And so it's this mental discipline on living in that green zone, on recognizing what you don't want, but then just asking yourself, what does this work? So back to that, they found that this was caused by stress. And then they looked at stress, and they wanted to understand where stress was coming from. And they found it to be a committee member. It was coming from fear. And so fear creates stress, and the stress kills you. And so and remember, it's a committee member, false evidence appearing real, because they also found out about the fear that about 97% of the things that we fear never even happen. And so the 3% that does happen, actually we're on our path and it's helping us. We just couldn't figure it out at the time. For example, people that, get a divorce, when they're going through, when they first make the decision, they say, oh, that's the worst thing that ever happened to me. But then they find a better mate or whatever, and they go, oh, that's great that happened. But at the time when it happens, it's not very good. For, just about all of us at some point have gotten laid off by corporate America, for those that have been in corporate America. And that, and at the time we say, oh, it's just terrible. But for any of you that have experienced that, then now you're with this great company where, you have this whole opportunity and this amazing, the whole environment with healthcare, and how you have the ability, you have a product and service to be able to address that. And so it's wide open. There's all kinds of opportunity. And then you get stock with this company too. So it's like being with corporate, but not all the bad crap that comes with corporate. And so, yeah, so for you to say, yeah, it's going to increase for that balance that I have, because we don't have to, most real successful people that they're not working all the time. Okay, they're not killing themselves on doing it. What they're doing is they're allowing those thoughts, they're asking. In fact, Harvard Business School identified that the top 3% income wage earners are people that all they had different. It wasn't their background, it wasn't their education, it wasn't any of that. It was just that they had goals and the other people didn't have specific goals written down. And so that's why we're in this process that I'm calling desires, because it's just warmer, more intimate on here's my desire, and then to be able to think about the why. And as you think what you want and why you want it, you'll be able to get it. So that's great. Anything else on that, Walter?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. Yeah, and that'll get you going in that energy, and you can even start visualizing being at the wedding and how good health you are in and how everybody's so happy. And the more you can visualize on what you want, that the more, and so that's a technique, if you will, on how do I start, kind of training my mind to do all this, that one of the techniques is this visualization. Just start seeing yourself. I did, over the holidays, I did like a scrapbook, and what I did is I wrote different areas. Every page was a different area of my life, like family, health, etc. And in fact, I'm looking at a picture right now, and it's called On Our Family Way to Our Penthouse, and it's in Tokyo. And there's this and there's this line of Rolls Royces that are going to this penthouse, and with this beautiful water in Tokyo and all the beautiful buildings they have. And so as the more that I look at that, the more that I see that, the more that I think about that, the more I'll be sitting in that Rolls Royce in Tokyo. And so it's all fun and good. So that's great, Walter, and thank you. Andy, any personal or professional goal you want to share with us?
No, not right now. It's something I got to think about. So
okay.
That was one I was thinking about over the weekend, and I was just texting Dan on that. That's just something I'm going to have to spend time with. It's not a 30-second answer.
Sure, you bet. Well, that's great, and as long as you're immersed in it and thinking about it, because like I shared with you, everybody that I've met has not really been clear on what they want, and so for us to get clearer and clearer on what we want. So let's move now to referral partnerships, and again, to be able to hit your consciousness with, the magic bullet. So I call the magic bullet, and referrals are the easiest, no cost, and best way to build your business. Most of us don't ask for referrals, and because we don't ask. And the reason why we don't ask is because of fear. We fear, I'm only going to get business and it's not going to help the referral partner, which is not the case. That everybody, when you ask somebody, you put them in a position to help someone, and that someone is you, and that it's also to help all of the people that they know, their loved ones, because what we do is we help increase the quality of life and healthcare for families, for individuals. That it's an amazing thing what we're being able to provide. And so for us to stand tall and to say, I can't wait to give a person an opportunity to help all the people they know with the service and product that I have as U.S. Health Advisors. And so your ideal referral partner. So this is another thing that, remember, I shared with you that referral partners, and at the end of the year, and now we're getting this momentum going again. And so I want you guys to get energized. This is, here I'm going to start living in this green zone. I'm going to be thinking about good feeling thoughts about what will be, about how that I want it. And then I'm going to start attracting ideal referral partners to me. And how do I do that? Simply by me thinking about, I want ideal referral partners, those referral partners. So they could be a networking group, ideal referral partners. They could be an individual. They could be a company owner that knows other smaller companies, because typically that's our niche in the smaller companies, that we want them to be well connected in the community. It can be, and so I really want you to be thinking right now, who's another referral partner? Somebody that's well connected, somebody that likes me. It could be a previous client. It could be, somebody, maybe I just got a mortgage. Maybe it's somebody in my family. It's my hairdresser. It's my insurance agent for my car. Whatever the case may be. And so to be thinking about who is that person, and really just ask. It's all about this asking, and that I would like another referral partner that just continues to build my business. And so invite it into your experience out of the blue. And so I've coached with, I have one guy that I've coached with 7 years, and he is one of the top professionals now in the U.S., in America, and in sales. And I don't know, maybe 3 months ago, he all of a sudden thought about this other referral partner that was right under his nose, and it's helped increase his business even more in the last 3 months. So know that, don't be sitting there thinking that, oh, I already have my referral partners, or I don't know anybody, or I've tapped out on that. I'm telling you, there is someone, but you have to be the inviter into your experience and say, who is that? Now, hearing that, did anybody come up with right now in that brief, discussion of ideal referral partners, did anybody come up with a new referral partner that you can contact, please?
Thanks, this is Dan. Just kind of a real quick story.
Yeah.
About a week or so ago, I got an email in our kind of internal neighborhood. This gentleman sent an internal email and goes, hey, is there anybody that has any knowledge of this healthcare stuff? And I'm so confused and this, that, the other. I emailed him back and said, yeah. I said, I'd love to talk to you. Well, he happens to be the owner of a water softening company. And it just so happened that we were in the process of replacing the water softener at one of our houses. And, we actually had another company that was already about ready to do it. And I said, Kevin, I said, why don't you come by last Saturday? He came by last Saturday and gave us a quote. And we actually spent $1,500 more than what we were going to spend.
Yeah.
But I also picked up his business for his healthcare plus his employees, and then we were standing there talking last Friday morning after we got done talking to his employees. He mentioned something about a big plumbing company down here, Richard Rosenberg. And I said, Kevin, I've been trying to get into that business for a long time. He goes, man, the guy's a really good friend of mine. He lives over in your neighborhood. He just moved in over here. I'm going, man, so what would it take for you to introduce me to him? He goes, well, I don't know him real well. My wife and his wife are best friends, and let's get you introduced. So, he's very well connected. He's a young guy, but well connected. So, he's down one of my new referral partners.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and I just love it. And that came out of the blue,
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue. And that's how it is. I mean, it's really your prayers answered. That God is giving it, and it's just amazing. And if we just all relax, the reason why we don't get everything that we've asked for is we have these resistant thoughts, and typically committee member thoughts, and it's too good to be true. That's another one that just blows everything. All the momentum, and we've been talking about momentum, and when things are starting to go good, and then people go, oh, it's too good to be true. Well, you just blew it. Okay, that's what you asked for. Even though you think, well, I don't want that, but the fact is you're thinking, well, oh, it's too good to be true, and then it isn't. And so for us to just allow it, and so we can just ask and receive it, and to get that energy going on asking on a referral partners, and that's one desire that on our desire sheet professionally is I'd like to attract, because we're attractors, okay, and we're kind of like this genie, and so how do you shine the genie, if you will, to get the genie out of the pot thing, right? That how do you shine that? Well, you just think about these thoughts on what you want, or what you want, and why you want it, and it makes you this magnet, and so you start becoming this magnet, and And so maybe, like Andy, one of the things that a great goal would be, and for all of us, that would be that, maybe it's that, hey, I want to regularly, maybe not even say once a week, but I want to regularly attract ideal referral partners that bring me lots of business. And then back to you, Dan, on what you were saying was, so you liked that experience, it made you feel good, it was fun, it was easy, everything. And so what I would encourage you to do is to think about that often. And so like by you just sharing it, because our power, is in our word, right? And when we, what is our words? Like when we speak, what is the spoken word? Well, it's thoughts being spoken that even puts more power to it. So by you sharing this experience of, wow, this was so great, and you were all pumped up, and you're energized on it, that by doing that what happens is it's telling God automatically, I want more of it. And then God will bring you more of it. So whenever you can like share that story or think about that story, and this joy shot that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes here on an exercise to do every morning to start living more and more in this green zone, that, one of the things could be that you think every morning about, wow, that was just so great on how I got his business, how I got his employees' business, how I'm getting referrals now into other industries. And I just love that and how easy it was. And the more you talk about that, the more your prayers are going to be answered quicker and in bigger ways, because you're thinking about what you want versus not resistant thoughts on, oh, there aren't enough referral partners, or I'm not connected, or whatever. That we're all connected. And we're all connected to what? To God. And so because of that, and you're always connected to get referral partners, to get plenty of business, to get everything that you want. So that's a great story, Dan. Thanks for sharing that. And okay, so with that, so think about who is a referral partner that I'd like to attract out of the blue, a referral partner. And then once I am with them, how does that kind of go, if you will? How does that discussion go? And one of the techniques that I've found that have been very helpful is to simply ask for help. And so, with Dan's guy, that it could be, hey, would you be willing to help me to be introduced, to that plumbing guy? And so people love to be put in a position to help others. And so here you're putting them into a position, again, to help you, but not only help you, but like in Dan's case and the friend, that it's to help Dan's water guy, to help all the people that he knows, including the plumbing guy, and everybody is connected to about 250 people at least. And so just think on that, and especially like this guy's well-connected, a small business owner. And so like, who is my ideal referral partner? That, well, one of them probably would be included in there, would be, I would love having referral partners that own small businesses that are connected to other small businesses, just like Dan had. So ask for help and then share your goals. And so you maybe want to make it real soft, like, hey, I'd love to help 20 families a month. And if I'm doing the math right, and tell me if I'm doing the math right, but we make about $1,000 on every closing, and that if I do 20 people, that would be 20,000 a month times, and let's just say 10 months, that would be 200,000. Is my math right on that?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah. And so that would give you 2 months off for the year. So you could take 2 weeks off, because I just multiplied it by 10. But what do you think about that? Do you think that's realistic? Could we each help 20 families per month? In other words, have 20 closings? Is that realistic?
It's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it would be, there's really 4.3 weeks in every month, but, let's just round it to 4 weeks in every month. So it gives you a little play room. And so 20 divided by 4, I need to do 5 a week, which would mean 1 closing a day. Does anybody do 1 closing on average per day yet?
Not in our group, but there are within the company. We're averaging probably 1 to 2 a week. Certain people, I mean, the problem is we have 30 writing agents, and we have about 7 each week that are getting it. And so it's a goal to attain. Yeah. However, we try to put shorters in there to get people rolling. So, if they can, right now, realistically, and as sad as it sounds, 1 a week is the goal everybody tries to hit.
Sure.
And like I said, others are closing multiples. If you go after small business like Dan's doing and I'm doing, and we've kind of been teaching our guys to do, then you're getting closer to that number because you can hit larger, targets at a time. So it just depends.
Yeah, that's awesome, Andy. Yeah, so I like that. So, the kind of the starting goal for, all of us, whatever, and when we first start and people that we recruit in, would be 1 a week. And so that's $4,000 a month, and that's, good. And really it's 4.3 weeks per month. So, it's over $4,000 and so it's, about 50 grand a year. And then I love the thought though, that here's an example that inspires us is we have people in the company averaging 5 per week. And so we know it's possible. And, it's kind of like breaking the 4-minute mile, that it was never done. And once one person did it, then all kinds of people started doing it. And it's all based on our belief. And so one of the ways for us to believe easier and believe that it's really true, if you will, but really what's true is in your own head, not what you think and what you visualize and what you believe in yourself. But again, it's helpful to see what we see in the outside world, and we see, wow, this guy is doing 5 deals a week, and so it is possible, and I can do it. And don't think that person that's doing that is all they're doing is working. Okay, because that is a resistant thought where you say, hey, I want balance. We talked earlier about, we want balance. Walter wants, work-life balance. And so you don't have to, it's really working, an easy way to do it is working smarter, if you will. And, referral partners is one way to be able to do that. But if you're at, share your goal. Maybe it's, hey, I'd like to help, 2 families every week, or 3 families, or whatever, that is. But back to the ideal referral partners, you ask for help in this meeting, ask for help, and then you share your goal. And so people know exactly where you are. And, what a nice way of putting it, that again, you can put it whatever way you're most comfortable with. But, I'd like to help several families every week with their health care, and then ask why they would benefit. And so have them get clear on why they would benefit. Ask them, why would you benefit by giving me a referral? And if they don't have an answer, then ask more questions. Ask them, well, would you be benefiting the people that you give me, and that I would help them with their health care? Would that be a benefit to you? Oh yeah, it would be a benefit. That, because does it make you feel good that you're helping me and giving me a referral? And then they go, yeah, it actually does feel good that I'm helping you to, get referrals and grow your business. So ask why they would benefit. And if they don't have an answer, ask more questions about how in fact, you're giving them the answer by asking the question. Well, would I benefit, the people that you know? Would I benefit your clients? And maybe you could do more business than with your clients. I think that was you, Walter.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry about that.
And then, would it benefit like your family members, and so your clients, your friends, your neighbors, and as I'm thinking about that one Dan, on your neighbor email, so I'm assuming it's your neighborhood is all on the same email system and you're communicating with each other. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And so when you responded, were you able to respond to the whole neighborhood?
No, you're not allowed to mark it on there, but yeah, I mean, I responded to him.
I see.
And, there's ways to kind of go back and, like he'll go back on there and say, hey, I talked to Dan Nelson and
yeah,
he did a good job. And so
yeah,
that's the next step.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's fabulous. And then number 4 is share who your ideal client is. So, who is your ideal client? And so can I hear a little, some input on who's an ideal client? What does that look like?
I think for me, a small business owner who's got in between 5 and 10 employees, that's an ideal client for me.
Okay, yeah, great. Because, everybody, because everybody knows at least 250 people, that most people know a small business owner with 5 to 10 employees. They're just not, it hasn't been on their radar screen, but just the way that whatever you're thinking about attracts to you, whatever you help other people think about attracts to them. And so by bringing that up and more specific on, ideally, I can help really anybody and entrepreneurs, small business owners. So entrepreneurs, maybe that's another good word to use because there's all kinds of entrepreneurs now, right? That, that whole business has just flourished where people are working for themselves. And so you have small business owners but entrepreneurs as well. Any other thing on who your ideal client is that you could share with your ideal referral partner?
My ideal client would be somebody that would give me their checking account numbers and their routing numbers.
Yeah, that that is true. That probably you don't want to share with your referral partner. No. That's the bottom line. That thing you can definitely do in the Joy Shop that we'll get to here in a minute. That you can you can go ahead and put in there. Yeah, I love and that is like that would go something like this. That I want to be introduced to prospects that trust me, that we get along good. We're harmonious together. And again, I would write some of these things down as I'm sharing with them, so that you start using some of this terminology and some of this that ring right for you. That sounds good to you. That write it down because it sounds real good right now, but hell, by next week you won't even remember what I have said. So, but some of these things like I want to attract harmonious prospects that turn into great clients that easily do as I ask them to do, and so that implies giving their check to you and their account number or whatever, but just really get into who do I want? That those are the type of prospects that I want, and how do you know what you want? Is typically from your experience on prospects that you don't want. So, people that hang up the phone on me. So I don't want that. What do I want? People that talk to me, people that are friendly to me, people that do business with me. So prospects that turn into clients. And so the more that you can really get immersed in your ideal client, the clearer you are on your ideal client, the clearer your ideal referral partner will be, and they know people. And so ask for a personal introduction. So when you get that, so, using Dan's example, he would talk to the water guy and say, oh, great, could you please, could we maybe meet together, the three of us, or could you give me a personal introduction via email and copy me on the email to him, or could you call him? In fact, would you mind calling the plumbing guy right now and asking for a personal introduction? And how would that be? And so what would they say? And so that comes into what your elevator speech is, and some of the focus we've had on looking at what your logo is and who you are, that what do you do, because that personal introduction. So again, the water guy saying to the plumbing guy, hey, I know this Dan guy that is just fabulous with helping people with their healthcare needs, and he's an expert that has helped me and my business, and would you be willing to at least just talk with him to see if he can help you and your employees like he helped mine? And so that would be a personal introduction. And then the mother of all creation. So I'm going to switch gears here. Any questions about referral partners?
The only thing I would add to that is sometimes, and I've had people in the past and other businesses I've been involved in, if you give them what you want them to say, they will actually say it, or send it to them in the form of a letter, just so they know what you do and what you're looking for. That way they don't screw it up by saying something stupid. Actually give them what you want or what type of introduction you want, and believe it or not, people are really acceptable to that. If you present it in the right way, they will do that. You just have to ask.
That is just an awesome idea. And like when I want a letter of recommendation from someone, that what I do is I do what I call to them, here's a rough draft, and I'll send them, I'll say, hey, would you do a letter of recommendation? I attached, a rough draft of that letter for you to, make any changes or whatever. And 99% of the time they go, oh, this is fine, because I write down what I actually did, and, I'm not saying anything that I didn't do. And so, yeah, for you to actually hand them a piece of paper and say, this is what I do, or when you email them that, could I please have a personal introduction, and then something like, and here's what I normally say about myself, and then that's, 3 sentences or whatever, that short little paragraph on, that elevator speech. And so to be really clear on elevator speeches as well, because that in essence is what you're going to be handing them. So that's a great one. Andy, what's your elevator? What do you hand them?
Are you talking about if I'm talking to my referrals, or whom I'm referring?
So, like, if you're talking to your referral partners, and that, what do you tell the referral partner?
Oh, my quick 30-second is, hey, look, you've seen the value in this. I had something I was able to help you with, and you feel that this is a good thing, correct? Yes, and they say correct. I'm like, great. This is how this is how I make my living. Is I help people that are in a bind, such as you found yourself, and if you could help me find those people, that's kind of what I'm after. So it varies from, it's not always that way, but it's always you saw the value in what I gave you, correct? Yeah, great. Then help me find other people, because I've been here, April will be a year, so I haven't been here a year, and everything I've sold has been referral. So I'm big on referral, and so number one, I'm a Zig Ziglar fanatic, so it goes back to people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care, and so once they know you care, then they're more acceptable to handing you over that list of friends. I mean, we hold those tight to the vest, because you don't want some idiot calling on your best friend, screwing things up.
Right.
If you've ever had a Cutco knife person come to your house, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You wouldn't give anybody's name. However, so, when I'm talking to those people, that's what I'm showing. Look, I helped you. I was able to help you. You see the value, right? Great. Then send me that next guy, and that's kind of where I come from it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And again, that's with, a client, and clients typically are the best because they've actually used your product. They know you. They've used it. They're happy with it. And so that's great. And then if they aren't, then that conversation has to be a little bit different on that, what do I do? And just kind of looking at it that, let's see, I'm just trying to read. Yeah, like, my name is Dan Nelson. I advise small business owners, self-employed and individuals on how they can decrease their healthcare costs while increasing their benefits. And so like that one, that's one sentence that pretty much, sums it up nicely on what we do. So great discussion on that. Any other thing on referral partners? Okay, and again, this week I'd like you to identify a referral partner, and hey, who is a referral partner that I can attract and that can get me more and more business. And like we just heard, that most of our business is through referrals, so it's critical. So, and I'm now gonna switch gears, and the last thing to share with you, and that's what I call the mother of all creation. And the first thing each morning, you want to enter into the doorway where you create your life with what I call the joy shop. And basically it just takes 15 minutes every day. So you maybe have to wake up 15 minutes earlier or whatever, but it's almost the first thing you do. You go to the bathroom and then sit down, because you don't have any resistant thoughts yet, that you're not thinking, oh, it's going to be a tough day, or oh, the weather is bad, or whatever. That you just get up. You're in your least resistant mindset when you wake up. So you want to wake up and invest in this 15 minutes in what I call a joy shop. And what you'll do is you'll read the joy shop. And so I'm going to send you a joy shop, and it's just like 2 pages. It's double spaced. I would recommend that you print it out, and then in between these double space lines, you'll start coming up. God's going to start giving you more ideas, and then you'll start writing those down. But and the first thing that you want to write down, so you read your joy shop, and then you write down what you want. And the first thing to write down, so you can write this on a pad of paper. I actually have this in a real nice, I went to the bookstore, and I have for my joy shop a real nice book, leather bound, like journal, and because it's where I create my life. And so, this morning I wrote down that we were going to just have a fantastic session, an awakening session, a session that, was fun, that was informative, that will help you become your greatest possibility. And so I'm very deliberate in this. And so desires, you write down, the first thing is your desires. What do I want? And so that can come from your desire sheets as well as from other things. So what do I desire? And just a word about, I interchange what I want or desire. And some people say, well, you shouldn't say what I want. Okay, well, the fact is that you're the person doing the asking. So you can almost say that you're demanding, okay, that you're the one with the want. So that's why this is what I want. It's not whining and saying, oh, I want, more money because I don't have enough money. No, this is, more on, hey, I'm this creator, and I'm standing here and I'm saying, hey, I want more money, that I want more business, that I want deeper, more meaningful relationships. I want better health because I love having better health so I can see my grandchildren get married. I mean, you just start writing in all of your desires. Then the second thing that you want to write down is what you appreciate. Now, when you're in a state of appreciation, or you could use grateful, but appreciation is more recognizing that you're the co-creator. You and God make this. You and the universe are making it. You ask, God delivers, and gives you out of the blue things, gives you cooperative components that you want. And so when you're in a state of appreciation, it's automatically telling God, you want more of it. I want more of it. So when we say, so one of the things in appreciation is, Dan could say, wow, I really appreciate the neighbor that I have and the email and how great that was, and that got me into more small businesses. But typically I do appreciation within the last 24 hours. What this is doing is this is going to start changing your mindset on how you think. And so appreciation makes you think about the things that played out. Most of us have been taught to talk about what things didn't work out and what bad things are going on, etc. And so this helps you to start thinking about all the amazing things. And as you start writing down the things you appreciate, I appreciate that that person smiled to me. I appreciate the lead that I got. I appreciate the referral that I had. I appreciate the kind words my wife had for me. I appreciate, whatever that is that makes you feel good, that as you start writing down the things that you appreciate, you're going to find more and more things to appreciate. This will happen like magic. Within the next couple of days, like you'll do your Joy Shop tomorrow morning, and that, again, you'll read the Joy Shop, you'll write down what you desire, what you appreciate, and then the last and final thing is you'll pre-pave your day. And what that means is you'll start calling your day the way it is, the way you want it. So this morning, if you were in a Joy Shop, hey, I had just a fantastic session with Dr. Hank and learned all kinds of different things just to tweak my thinking and who I am and realize on how I really need to be thoughtful about what thoughts I am thinking about. And so you say that. And then let's say that you are now going to do phone calls from 10 to 12. So you say, yeah, I just love on how the phone calls are so great. They're easy, that I get live with people. I get appointments from people. And then maybe tomorrow, this afternoon, you have a networking event. And man, I'm going to go to that networking event and I'm going to just get along so well with everybody. I'm going to meet my ideal referral partners. I'm going to get referrals from them. And then I'm going to have a follow-up meeting. And maybe I have 2 follow-up meetings in the afternoon with prospects to give them the presentation. And so then you say, yeah, that presentation is going to be just great. So you start calling it the way that you want it. You don't say, the old way is thinking about, oh man, when I talked to that person, he was kind of grumpy. I hope he's not grumpy today. Well, if you think about that person as being grumpy or ornery, you're going to start creating that person being grumpy and ornery. And it works like magic on that. When you start calling it the way that you want it, you're going to start getting more and more things the way that you want it. So any questions about the Joy Shop? Again, I'll be sending you the Joy Shop and then a recap of what to do with that. Does that sound like something you guys would be interested in? It's a way to, one of the best techniques I know to live in the green zone. Does it sound all right to you?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see it.
Okay, great. Yeah. And again, just takes 15 minutes and try it for this week and see what amazing results will be. And you want to be thinking about this energy and this positive, good feelings, energies, and to start doing that, and you'll start seeing that it's going to start, your life is going to start playing out better and better. And so your success steps are, I'm going to also send you a MP3 about living in the green zone and being deliberate. And if you can, I'd love for you to listen to it about 6 times this week. It's only about 10, 12 minutes long. But whenever you can, maybe, before you go to bed, listen to it. Maybe after lunch, listen to it. And you can, listen to it in your car, whatever. But the more that you can be absorbed in this information, the more that I can put into your consciousness and hit your consciousness with this good, solid information, the better that, the more changes you're going to see and the more positive impact it's going to be. And then develop your desire sheet. So I would, at least have those 2, one professional, one personal, and then just keep on thinking about, why do I want that? And then look at your desire, and is that really your desire? And you maybe want to tweak it and rewrite it a little, but just start developing. The more you can think about what you want, the more that it's going to come to you in a faster, easier way. Then this week, I'd like you to also meet with at least one referral partner. And so think of one new person. Who is a new person that I could meet this week? And again, don't put any resistance in it. If anything, just say, hey, I want to, I just want to attract. And so God, give me give me one more referral partner this week, ideal referral partner that can bring me more business so I can serve more people, so I can make more money. God is abundant, and God wants you to be abundant, and you're the only one preventing yourself from the prosperity and the abundance that you want. And so all of this information that we shared today is going to be helpful to you to start allowing all of the things that you deserve. And then finally, create your life each day in your joy shop. And again, I'll send you that joy shop. So expect wonderful things to happen. Expect out of the blue thoughts, people, and circumstances to lead to your desires. The most important thing every day is for you to feel good and only think upon thoughts that please you, that you like, and that you want in your life. And as you do, the more that you can change your thinking, changing your mindset into this positive way and feeling good and caring most about how you feel. And when you feel good, you're lined up with your creator. And so you want to be able to feel good, and you can do that through having good feeling thoughts. So with that, any questions or comments? Okay, PJ, do you want to say a couple of things before we get off this morning?
First of all, Dr. Hank, I'd like to thank you for your time in starting this off for the new year. I'd like to thank everyone for participating and carving out this time this morning. And I can't tell you how blessed I feel to be around each and every one of you and to be a part of this amazing program and this journey that we've initiated with all of you. And I just would like you to know that Dr. Hank and I just really appreciate the effort that you're putting in, and we wish the best, and we expect amazing positive results for this year. So Dr. Hank, I'd like to thank you again this morning.
Okay, and thank you.
And I want to wish everybody a safe week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Dr. Hank or myself. And that's it for me.
You bet. And so I'll send you, thank you, PJ and Patrick. And then we'll be together next Monday, 8 to 10, just 2 more weeks. And just expect that, you know, there are going to be 2 just amazing weeks and awakening weeks and weeks to help you get to what you want. And then I'll be sending you the Joy Shop and the MP3. And then also, if you need me, that, you know, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, that I'd love to, you know, I'm available for you. So you can email me, text me, below my signatures, all my contact information. But I'm here to help you grow. We have a few more weeks, so take advantage of this. And I'm willing to help you in whatever. If you need to talk to me about something personal going on, and I'm trained and expert at helping with whether it be relationships or business growth or whatever. So I'm here for you, and I appreciate you all. And so with that, any other closing remarks from anyone? All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, you bet, Amy. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, and we'll be together next week. Have a great week. All the best. Bye-bye.